one of the lessons that we had, I think one of the first lessons is a lecturer came and asked us like, who is an engineer? And we're all giving this kind of lesson like, oh, engineers make stuff, they create electricity, they drive engines. And after giving him all sorts of answers, he just told us that an engineer is somebody who's been tasked with the responsibility of making solutions for the challenges that we face today. And I always believe in that fundamental principle.
And now, when you don't get picked for medicine,
Yes.
now you get picked for engineering.
Yes.
What reignited that fire in you to continue innovating? What was that moment?
Well, one thing, there's something my mom told me from that moment when I did really go into School of Medicine, because I was a bit disappointed that I didn't get to be what my father wanted me to be, but then I'd been picked for something that I'd actually chosen, and I was so curious about it. So I remember having a conversation with my mom, who told me that, in medicine, you'll never actually be available for your family. That's what she told me. And I think at the back of her head, she's thinking that, oh no, for you have to get married, soon, have kids. So if you go to medicine, you're going to be in school for 7, 8 years. Then maybe you have to specialize. Then it take a very long time. Then you'll be a doctor. You'll also constantly be working. So she will tell me that, you never really have time to be available for your family. So maybe it's not so bad that you're into engineering, because you can then do something, out of yourself, and you don't have to be in school for so long. So I think that encouragement also just made me settle into the fact that I've been chosen for engineering. Mm-hmm. And it's okay that deep down I was actually happy that I was not going to School of Medicine, but going to do engineering. And I remember when I first went to American Wing at University of Nairobi. American Wing is a famous part of the College of Engineering at University of Nairobi. I was so excited. Finally, I became among the people who always talk about American Wing, or people who had read about, they went to school in American Wing and so forth. And one of the first practical lessons that we did when studying mechanical engineering, I was so amazed at all the equipment in the lab. I wanted to discover, how does something called a lathe used for metal works? How does all these tools, what do they do? What can I make out of them? That really just drove me further, that journey of rediscovery. And I think it stems from the fact that I used to play with small instruments when I was young, and now the real life size, the life size equipment, they're available for me, and there's somebody to teach me how to do it. And I would think of, oh my God, what can I actually make? And I remember one of the practical lessons, I made a meter box for electricity. Do you remember the old meter box for KPLC?
Yeah.
Yes, I think aluminium box or a steel box where you'll get the electrical components. One of the practical lessons actually made a meter box. And seeing that in real life size was really, really encouraging for me to actually continue pursuing engineering. But then also, I knew at the back of my head that I wanted to make stuff. So I used to try to figure out what can I actually make that is meaningful, that is impactful, something I can actually sell, or something that could win a Nobel Peace Prize. Yes. So that fire just continued building up, and also just learning really what fundamentally engineering means. One of the lessons that we had, I think one of the first lessons is a lecturer came and asked us who is an engineer? And we're all giving this kind of lesson oh, engineers make stuff, they create electricity, they drive engines. And after giving him all sorts of answers, he just told us that an engineer is somebody who's been tasked with the responsibility of making solutions for the challenges that we face today. And I always believe in that fundamental principle. So I look at it in very many ways. When you think of it creating solutions for the challenges that we face today, and making them, and just trying to build some actual things that really do impact. I think that is one of my driving principles, just to love engineering more.
Wow. And actually, it's interesting what you've just commented about the University of Nairobi, because I've met many innovators recently actually met Maurice Betzer, who said he couldn't survive 3 months in class because of the theoretical approach to teaching.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling like still there's some schools which are offering good education. Or what was your view? According to what you're saying, like how are you able to survive 4 years with all this curiosity and ready to get your hands dirty? And how would you describe the engineering curriculum that you went through? Was it interesting for you enough to keep you in school, or did you drop out at some point, or I don't know? Yeah, just let us know about that, I think.
Yeah, so I totally agree about the engineering curriculum in Kenya. There's a lot of theoretical work that deep down feels a bit wasteful, because a young person who's joining university has so much energy and so much vigor to learn. So the faster we can get them to learn a concept and to actually do it practically, the better. That's why to me I always feel like there's a lot of theoretical things that might not really be essential in today's world to be taught in School of Engineering. Doing 5 years of so much of it being theory was quite a challenge. Most of the time quite boring and didn't make sense, because when you do something practically, you understand it better. So when you do computations on paper and try to figure out translating the theory into practicality, if you don't understand the fundamental concept, you'll never actually understand it. But I feel like engineering, especially in Kenya, should try to reverse the concept a bit, or rather the concept of teaching engineering, by possibly exposing us and even students into the practical aspects, so that we truly understand or see even the things that we learned in the books. So when I see people saying that there's just too much theory in engineering and they can't survive it and they drop out, I totally understand them, because I remember my second year, I had done so much theory in my life. I'm like, when do we actually get to do the actual work and do it for a very long time, not just 1 hour of practical lessons in a week? So there is a lot of theory that is taught in engineering, and I think that could be tweaked a bit. Running this company right now and just looking back at School of Engineering, I truly do understand building concept from fundamental principles, and that's where so much of the theory comes from. But then also, it's better to show them alongside those fundamental principles the actual practicality of how this engineering equipment, tools, concept work. Then actually more engineers will actually understand the theory and even enjoy the theory.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And so you stayed and you graduated?
Yes, I still graduated. I had no choice. My father would have finished me in a heartbeat.
Okay, so how have you advanced your education since then?
Yeah. I've definitely advanced my education since School of Engineering. I actually went and studied energy efficiency. I'm a certified energy manager by the Association of Energy Engineers, because also just learning a bit of the Kenyan landscape and the energy access in Kenya, I knew that I wanted to know more how energy efficiency works and how that ties with efficient equipment for engineering. Then also I learned solar technologies. I have a passion for solar, and I believe like it truly is a revolutionary concept that should be advanced in Kenya and in Africa, just to tackle so many of the challenges that we face. I also studied so much even beyond engineering, like business concepts, like marketing, like sales. Like I have done a myriad of things here and there that just still tie to engineering. This is what I came to learn, Rachel. I can't build the equipment that I want to build and build it to perfection. But if I can't sell it, if I can't communicate it, it really won't impact the people that it needs to impact. That's why I ended up learning sales, to know the best way of selling an equipment or even selling the concept or an idea. So much of engineering or technical courses, sales is not taught in class, but engineering should actually be taught alongside sales, because if people don't adopt the solution that you're building, it's quite not successful at the end of the day. We have to learn marketing, how to talk about these solutions to market them for wider impact. We have to learn communication fundamentally, how to talk, how to write, how to translate this concept engineering idea to something so simple and digestible, so that anybody who's not technical can truly understand it. Because the solution that we build impact each and every single person from all walks of life, whether they're educated, whether they are semi-literate or not literate. They still need to understand why they need to adopt these solutions. So for me, I felt like I needed to equip myself with all these soft skills to know how best to actually serve communities or even populations.
That's so inspiring. And I
Thank
wanted
you.
to know
Yeah.
now the journey to founding Drop Access. Now you've like graduated.
Yeah.
Did you get a job or have you founded this company? I'm just curious how you now got into the Norah that we know, one of the biggest women in STEM in Kenya.
Thank you.
Yeah, so like maybe how was that journey? Like how did you start off up to where you are?
Oh, Rachel, the journey to Drop Access. So I graduated from University of Nairobi in 2014.